It began as a whisper buried in raw data, an image never meant for public eyes, an anomaly lurking deep within the James Webb Space Telescope's observations. Only a handful of astronomers noticed the irregularity at first, a pattern too precise, too rhythmic, too artificial to dismiss as noise. This wasn't cosmic dust or a dying star. This was something cold, calculated, and deeply unsettling. The object was 3 Atlas, an interstellar visitor already infamous for defying physics. But this leaked data, captured during a classified Webb observation, threatened to overturn everything we thought we understood. If the information proves accurate, 3 Atlas represents far more than another puzzling visitor from deep space. It may be actively observing us, and now fragments of that truth are leaking out. When 3 Atlas first appeared, astronomers initially categorized it as another interstellar comet. We had precedent Oumuamua, and Borisov had shown that objects from other star systems occasionally swing past our Sun. But 3 Atlas immediately distinguished itself in deeply troubling ways. Unlike typical comets that develop visible tails of water vapor and dust near the Sun, 3 Atlas refused to follow the script. No coma, no tail, no water. Instead, it emitted exclusively carbon dioxide in quantities that defied conventional models, while remaining eerily silent across all other wavelengths. NASA pointed the SPHEREX observatory at the object, expecting water or carbon monoxide, 2 compounds almost always present in comets. The results were startling. Nothing but carbon dioxide. A chemical profile unprecedented in astronomical history. This raised an obvious question. What kind of object emits only CO2? The answer was unsettling. No natural object we've encountered behaves this way. If it wasn't a comet and wasn't an asteroid, then what exactly were we looking at? As public interest intensified, NASA's communications grew conspicuously quiet. Behind closed doors, the James Webb Space Telescope was secretly directed to observe 3 Atlas on the 6th of August 2025. No images were released, no press conference followed, just silence. A leaked internal report has now revealed what Webb captured: an object lacking any natural coma, yet surrounded by a perfectly symmetrical CO2 halo, extending hundreds of thousands of kilometers. The geometric precision defied natural formation. Even stranger, infrared signatures revealed unusual luminosity emanating from within the object itself. Was 3 Atlas producing artificial light? The leaked spectroscopic data showed emission patterns bearing striking similarities to engineered photonic systems, structured light patterns used in telecommunications. These weren't random fluctuations. They repeated in regular sequences, structured like cosmic Morse code, suggesting intentionality. Adding to the mystery, the object measures approximately 46 kilometers in diameter, far larger than any known interstellar visitor. For a body this size to enter our solar system from interstellar space suggests either our cosmic statistics are catastrophically wrong, or this object was deliberately directed here. Perhaps the most alarming revelation concerned the path itself. 3 Atlas didn't enter on some chaotic trajectory like Oumuamua. It arrived in near-perfect alignment with the solar system's orbital plane, a geometric arrangement with only 1 in 500 probability of occurring naturally. It maneuvered like a drone following a flight plan, passing close to multiple planets, including Earth. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb described the approach as technologically suggestive, noting the trajectory seemed optimized for observation from Earth-based telescopes, almost as if it wanted to be seen but not. Understood. There's another detail. This object's origin traces back to Sagittarius, the same region where the famous "wow" signal was detected in 1977. That radio transmission remains one of our most credible pieces of evidence for artificial deep space communication. the probability of our most enigmatic interstellar object originating from the same stellar neighborhood as our best SETI candidate strains credibility. A new theory emerged, one grounded in practical engineering. What if 3 Atlas wasn't natural at all, but a technologically augmented object? Imagine a massive asteroid hollowed out and retrofitted with sensors or habitats, encased in rock as radiation shielding, with an outer layer engineered to sublimate CO2 and mask internal structure. It would appear natural unless examined closely. Scientists have proposed similar designs for human interstellar missions, asteroid ships using rocky bodies as shielding for long voyages. Such a vessel could traverse thousands of light-years with propulsion systems hidden beneath kilometers of genuine asteroidal crust. The SphereX and Webb data increasingly suggest we might be observing exactly that. If 3 Atlas is artificial, someone deliberately sent it. It didn't wander here by chance, it came with purpose. While most Webb releases focus on distant galaxies, leaked internal logs reveal something unexpected in 3 Atlas's light curves. What seemed like random thermal emission gradually revealed unmistakable modulation patterns. Upon spectral decomposition, the pulses matched prime number sequences, precisely the mathematical language SETI scientists propose for universal communication. These patterns repeated at precise intervals across multiple infrared bands, mimicking beacon transmissions. What truly unsettled analysts were deliberate silent gaps between bursts, pauses, as if something was transmitting, then listening, waiting for response. This wasn't just observation anymore. 3 Atlas appeared to be observing us back. NASA's response was immediate. Complete data lockdown. Observatories were instructed to cease tracking or publishing findings. The story disappeared from public discourse. But for those who'd seen the structured light signatures, there was no return to ignorance. Following the data leak, an unusual concentration of satellite redirections appeared across NASA and ESA channels' priority reassignments from military agencies, specifically NORAD and Space Force. Within 48 hours, the X-37B military spaceplane launched on an unannounced mission. Orbital reconstructions suggest a trajectory providing direct line of sight to 3 Atlas's projected path. Why deploy America's most classified space platform in response to an anomalous asteroid? Defense briefings began categorizing 3 Atlas under a new designation: Technological Unknowns of Extraterrestrial Origin, TUAOs. Leaked memos confirmed this object wasn't just scientific curiosity, it was now a strategic concern, potentially warranting defensive system. Some astrobiologists proposed an even more unsettling framework. What if 3 Atlas was neither purely technological nor natural, but a hybrid system, part machine, part biological, capable of evolution and autonomous decision-making across interstellar timescales? This concept, biomechanical synthesis, envisions organisms using metallic frameworks, radiation-absorbing skins, and AI-like neural networks to survive in space indefinitely. If this is 3 Atlas, it wasn't simply sent, it may have sent itself. It could be genuinely autonomous, capable of learning from observations, evolving capabilities, or even assimilating what it discovers. We wouldn't be examining a rock or probe. We'd be confronting something that learns, adapts, and possibly incorporates whatever it observes. In recent months, researchers identified a troubling pattern: timing. Emission pulses, trajectory adjustments, and orbital alignments suggest 3 Atlas operates on a schedule. New models predict its trajectory will bring it near the asteroid belt in 9 months, requiring propulsion or gravitational maneuvering. Some speculate it's entering a final observational phase, a countdown to something. The signal structure has begun changing, suggesting distinct phases. Analysts believe we're in Phase 3 of a 5-phase sequence, with the final phase coinciding with Mars-Earth alignment. What happens then? Nobody knows. But NASA's silence, military mobilization, and Webb's absence of follow-up observations suggest authorities know something is approaching. Shortly after Webb locked on to 3 Atlas, something peculiar happened across the Deep Space Network. Data streams from New Horizons and Voyager 2 went simultaneously silent. Radio astronomers detected localized electromagnetic disturbances centered around Webb observation windows. Was 3 Atlas aware of being watched? Did this electromagnetic suppression represent defense, cloaking, or warning? If it could interrupt outer solar system communications, it could control what information we receive, curating our observations. Traditional celestial bodies follow gravitational trajectories. 3. Atlas violated these models with sudden non-ballistic course corrections, discrete, controlled adjustments. Caltech simulations couldn't match the precision of its actual path. The most significant deviation occurred July 4th, when it executed a sharp correction, aligning precisely with Luton's star, a red dwarf 12.4 light-years away, hosting a potentially habitable planet. If 3 Atlas originated from Luton, if it knew our solar system's structure in advance, this isn't its first visit, and it won't be the last. After decoding signal patterns, biophysicists discovered frequency ratios reflecting DNA-like information architecture, specifically helix-turn-helix motifs found in terrestrial gene regulation. The signals contained biological logic gates mirroring Earth's genetic code organization. Before papers could be published, every lab received cease and desist orders citing national security. But everyone understood this wasn't foreign interference. This was interstellar. What if 3 Atlas possessed knowledge about Earth life because it encountered our planet before, or played some role in life's origins? The last leaked Webb memo contained one chilling phrase repeated across encrypted channels. Countdown initialized. 283 Earth days remaining. But this wasn't NASA-generated. Signal processing revealed it was decoded from 3 Atlas's own infrared pulse patterns. The countdown came from them. Researchers correlated this with previous anomalous objects, Oumuamua and Borisov. The pattern was undeniable. Approximately every 7 years, a new object appears with increasingly complex emissions, each following progressively closer trajectories. Some theorize 3 Atlas represents Phase 3 in an extended observation sequence. This countdown may mark the arrival of something else, perhaps the next object, or something larger these reconnaissance missions have prepared for. Among Webb's most controversial leaked imagery was what trailed behind 3 Atlas. Enhanced processing revealed a perfectly linear shadow, unaffected by solar angles or background radiation, maintaining geometric form regardless of perspective, as if actively projected rather than naturally cast. Whistleblowers leaked documentation, classifying it as a self-shading body terminology that exists nowhere in astronomical literature. If 3 Atlas generates its own shadow independent of external illumination, it's manipulating space-time geometry through mechanisms we don't understand. Weeks after 3 Atlas passed behind the Sun, astronomers detected a recurring signal at the 21-centimeter hydrogen line, the universal physics language. It repeated every 12 hours and 3 minutes, aligning eerily with Earth's magnetic field harmonics. After cross-referencing archived data, the revelation emerged. This exact signal was detected by Voyager 1-1996 during its heliopause passage, dismissed then as static. Reanalyzed now, it aligns perfectly with 3 Atlas's current emissions. Whatever generates these signals has operated in our solar system for at least 29 years. And the signal isn't fading, it's growing stronger, as if responding. A final Webb data package contained the infrared spectrogram of 3 Atlas's core emissions. Initially chaotic, a software engineer converted it to polar coordinates and overlaid Gaia stellar catalogs. The result was stunning. Emission bursts traced a detailed star map, not of our galaxy, but of the Triangulum Galaxy, 2.73 million light-years away. The final sequence connected this extragalactic point back to Earth in a perfect geometric loop. 3 Atlas didn't just originate outside our solar system or galaxy, it appears to have traveled across intergalactic distances. This wasn't random debris. This was a calculated arrival across timescales, challenging human comprehension. Despite overwhelming data, official narratives remain unchanged. It's an unusual comet, nothing to worry about. But within NASA, ESA, and Webb Consortium, a different conversation unfolds what sources describe as controlled panic. Classified SETI discussions explore frameworks of non-human cognition that don't fit conventional models. A radical hypothesis circulates. What if 3 Atlas isn't a vessel, debris, or conventional AI, but something our frameworks lack language to describe, a thought instantiated in physical form? A non-biological intelligence encoded in structure, orbital mechanics, radiation patterns, and silence? It doesn't require propulsion because it manipulates gravitational fields. It doesn't communicate conventionally because its existence is communication patterns in positioning and timing conveying information. It doesn't observe through instruments because it perceives systems through quantum entanglement across space and time. If true, Webb didn't discover an alien spacecraft. It discovered an alien mind intelligence. So, fundamentally different, we lack proper categories to understand it. And that mind is staring back with intent. What did James Webb observe? Not a comet, not random debris, not a chance visitor. Something that shouldn't move with such precision, shouldn't emit such structured signals, and shouldn't appear aware of our observation. If 3 Atlas embodies a signal, a mind, or cosmic intelligence spiraling toward Earth with purpose, then Webb didn't simply capture a photograph. It triggered a response. It became observed. And somewhere in interplanetary space, something responded. A countdown initiated, a star map traced, an electromagnetic signal growing stronger. NASA and military commands aren't panicking because they don't understand, they're preparing because they finally do. The questions that matter: why now? Why Earth? What happens when the countdown reaches 0? Because if Webb's observations are accurate, and evidence points that way, this object isn't merely passing through. It's coming home. Or returning to execute a mission planned before human civilization existed. The silence from institutions speaks volumes. Truth leaks in fragments, whispered conversations, classified mobilizations, data never meant for public analysis. That truth suggests we're witnessing something unprecedented. First contact not with a civilization, but with something stranger, an intelligence that doesn't think, communicate, or exist in ways we comprehend. The countdown continues. We wait, watch, and wonder what awaits when it reaches 0.